Okay, student and parents, this is Mr. Layton, and this is Flipped Open House, episode 1. I want to welcome you to 6th and 7th grade world history. I hope to get to meet you Tuesday, September the 1st here at Jefferson Middle School. I know that night can be really hectic sometimes, and it's a short amount of time with each group of parents. So I wanted to give you this resource beforehand, talk a little bit about who I am and why I chose to flip my classroom, and a little bit about what it means to flip the classroom.
Hello, my name is Chris Layton, and today I want to talk to you about why I flip my classroom. I'm going to use a paper slide technique in this video. It's just something very easy you can replicate in your own classroom or actually have your students do as well. So, got your paper here. We're going to simply slide it on out, and I'm going to slide in the next part. So, I flipped my classroom because what I found was that 80 to 90% of the time, I was delivering content, reviewing content. It was me in a lecture format with the expectation that students were writing down every word that was either on a screen or things that I told them that were important to write down. The problem I found with this was that only about 10 to 20% of the time were students actually practicing skills or applying those skills that we learned in class. So I wanted to find a way to change this and this percentage to where it was more like this. 80-90% of the time, students were practicing applying their skills, and that 10 to 20% of the time was based on lecture, delivery of content, or review of content. Because I feel that these can actually go over an application, but they don't always have to be in that long lecture format. So, what I chose to do is what's called flipping your classroom. I had a classroom much like many teachers, where you had students sitting in rows and I was sitting at the front, and maybe I had on the screen a PowerPoint of what we were learning that day, and the expectation was that students would write down every word they saw on the screen as I discussed them. Well, I wanted to change that, so I did a little research and found out about flipping the classroom. So in my classroom, the idea is to produce shortened videos. Now I only do this about twice a week. A lot of times I'm going to do it on a Monday, assign the video and needs to be watched by Wednesday, and then possibly assign a new video on Wednesday that needs to be watched by Friday. The idea is the students watch this short video as their homework, what they do outside of class at home. When they come into class, we're able to apply the content that they learned from the video into some type of activity, some type of engaging lesson, some way that allows me to assess that they understand that skill, but it's also engaging to where students are actively participating. What I found is by flipping the classroom, homework becomes more accessible because simply watching a 7-minute or less video for all students is very easy to do. Even if a student doesn't have internet access, a lot of times these videos become the first 4 or 5 minutes of class at some point before that lesson takes place. Create opportunities to differentiate instruction. What I was able to do is build more time. As opposed to me talking for 30 minutes and lecturing, while some students are engaged and some students are not, I'm able to lessen that amount of time. And when I do that, the students who understand are able to be a little bit more challenged and go at their pace. And I'm able to go help those students who don't understand as well. Students learning at their own pace. As they watch these videos that are 7 minutes or less, if they don't get it, they can pause. They can rewind. They can rewatch it. It's a great way to allow students to study for an upcoming test. It also presents a transparent classroom. The idea that parents often ask their child, "What did you learn in school today?" Or they communicate with teachers, "I just don't understand why my son or daughter doesn't understand this." By creating the videos, what I found was I saw that parents were watching them as well, and they were able to engage in conversations with students at home. Producing engaging lessons and activities. By reducing the amount of time that I was giving the delivery of the content and that direct instruction lecture time, by reducing that amount of time, we were able to produce our own work within class, student-produced projects, paper slide videos, for example, produced by students, where they're mastering the content in their own way, and it's not so much of sit and get information from just the teacher. So, why did I choose to flip my classroom? Because I found that I was not being effective in differentiating the learning. With 25 students in a classroom, I might have 5 that really understand it the first time I say it, and often became bored because I was spending time helping the other 20 who needed a little bit more help. This allows me to get those 5 going off in their own direction. Sometimes I might have 5 that really struggle to understand it, and it might take 4 or 5 times of explaining it. This gives me enough class time. Before, I did not have enough class time. I think that it's effective differentiation because it allows me to produce engaging lessons. It allows me to challenge the students who understand it quickly, but it also gives me more time to meet the needs of students who are struggling to hopefully gain a better conceptual understanding, not just history, but what do you think about this event and why do you think that about it? All right, thank you so much for your time, and look forward to talking a little bit more about how to flip the classroom and why I chose to flip my classroom.
All right, and thank you for your time, parents and students, and hopefully we'll see you September the 1st at Jefferson Middle School for open house at 6 p.m. The next flipped open house video, episode 2, will be coming your way soon. We'll be talking about how to log on to Canvas and how to log on to Discovery Education. Thanks for your time.